This is just a short clip of a full video that has basically been sanitized so it can fly under the radar on YouTube. If you want to see the entire conversation that we had or the entirety of the commentary that you're watching, please go to one of my other platforms. One of the best places to go is AllisonMorrow.locals.com, where you can become part of my editorial board and pose questions ahead of time for interviews. I also do live editorial board meetings on Saturdays. You can bring your feedback and pose ideas for guests and topics for the week to come, and you get exclusive content. So go to AllisonMorrow.locals.com. But whatever you do, don't stay here on YouTube. If you want the full truth about what's happening around us, you gotta go somewhere else. Could you also explain, what did most of the women tell you about their thoughts on that? Were they upset that these young men or older men had to stay behind? Were they staying willingly? Were they being forced against their will? Because we hear a lot of different things like, I wanted to get out, I couldn't. Or other people that are like, I would have stayed regardless if there had been, regardless of whether there had been a particular law in place about it. Just curious how the people you were talking to thought about having to, their family members being forced to fight in this.
Their family members being forced to what?
To fight in this, or to stay behind in order to fight in this war.
Ты понял ее вопрос?
Мне сложно понимать.
Как люди чувствовали об этом, что они оставили муж там, и оставил сын там, и что муж и сын должен воевать на эту войну? Как они чувствовали об этом? Что они оставили там?
Первое чувство – это чувство вины. Чувство вины.
Guilty.
Вины, да.
Они
чувствовали себя виноваты, что они остались живы, а они там под риском. Они здесь в безопасности, а они там...
So the first thing he would say is there was a feeling of guilt that they were able to get away and left those behind. It was still a great risk.
То есть вот это ощущение спасшейся жертвы, то есть что они остались живы. И у них постоянно мысль вернуться.
So they've just feeling guilty that they had come across the border and were safe, and they've still got this continual thought of returning, of needing to go back.
Да. Неважно, что будет.
Did they feel like it was a righteous thing for the government to do, or were they? And I'm not saying all of them had the same opinion. I'm sure they had different opinions on it, but were they? Did they feel like they understood that law, or were they saying, we don't like this. We feel like our family members are being forced to stay behind against their will, and they shouldn't have to do this.
Yeah. Okay. So ты думаешь, они поняли этот закон? И он согласен с этим законом, что мужчина должен остаться там. Как они думали об этом законе вообще? Что мужчина должен остаться в стране?
Они не согласились с этим. Они пытались всячески как-то нарушить это, чтобы как-то выехать.
Они не согласны?
Нет, не согласны.
No, they didn't. They were not supportive of that law. They didn't like it a bit.
Я даже знаю, я не знаю, стоит ли это переводить, группу людей, которые пытались пересечь, даже верующие, границу нелегально, чтобы убежать.
Yeah, there are a lot of people that were looking for other ways to get across the border.
И их словили и сразу на фронт.
And they get caught and taken to the front. На другой стороне, были люди, которые поняли этот закон и поддерживали этот...
Да.
На оба стороны. At the same time, there are also people that understood the law and supported it. So you had people on both sides of that.
Здесь в Польше было очень много мужчин, которые уехали в Украину, вернулись.
Они вернулись.
Да.
So in Poland here, there are a lot of people. There were a lot of men here, Ukraine, которые пришел сюда до войны.
Да.
So there were a lot of men here that had come over, immigrated over here to Poland from Ukraine before the war. And when the war started, many of these men went back to fight.
Чтобы помогать и защищать.
I didn't mean to cut you off when you guys were talking about these women and children who are coming across the border. I just wanted to ask about their feelings on coming over without their loved ones who are forced to stay behind. Is there anything else on that note that you want to add before we get into the conflict itself from an
I would want to
ideological
add,
perspective?
regardless of whether they supported the idea of martial law and their husbands and sons being made to fight, regardless of which side they came down on that, whether it was supportive or not, they were all heartbroken.
If you wear glasses and you also want to support my work, I have a new sponsor that lets you do that. I actually wear their blue light glasses when I am editing my videos. So go get some blue light blocking glasses that work at betterspectacles.com/Allison. They do specialize, however, in progressive lenses and difficult prescriptions. And we can attest to this as a family because they have really helped my husband, who is a disabled veteran.
The reason why I have to wear glasses is because of some of the explosions that I've experienced. It causes my left eye to constantly do this. So when that happens, my right eye tries to syncopate, and it creates basically migraines that I can't do anything.
These progressives really help my husband with his eyesight and his migraines, and now you can get them too at betterspectacles.com/Allison. Again, betterspectacles.com/Allison. These are from the German-engineered Rodenstock eyewear collection. It's a 144-year-old company. They also have opticians that will help you with your specific prescription. And right now, they're offering an introductory 61% off their single vision or progressive glasses with Blue Block. Plus, you get free handcrafted Rodenstock frames. So go visit the folks at betterspectacles.com/Allison. Again, that's Allison with 1L. See better what's going on around you and support my work while you're at it. As always, though, you can drink to free speech and support my channel by going to AllisonWinePromo.com. That's Allison with 1L winepromo.com. And check out my favorite wines. These are Malbecs from Argentina, and each one of them is very unique. One comes from a vineyard at almost 9,000 feet. So that's an extreme altitude Malbec, which gives it a very robust flavor. Another comes from the oldest vineyard in Argentina, and another uses natural fermentations. You get 50% off the wine itself and 50% off shipping, and you get to support my channel with a great glass of wine. All right, just a couple quick questions from my Locals community, and if you're watching this somewhere else, you should definitely sign up on Locals because you can post questions ahead of time for people like Craig and Michael, and they'll take them directly. And also, you can be part of my editorial board. So if you hate my interviews, you can let me know. Get it off your chest. So has he had any experience with foreign nationals? I would like to know how widespread the racism that they are reporting from the Ukrainians and Ukrainian authorities, making it difficult to leave. I think this is partially related to what we're hearing is that there are neo-Nazis fighting this, that have instigated this, like neo-Nazis who have been a part of the government in Ukraine, and that, there's, Russians living in Ukraine that, or even Ukrainians living in that eastern portion that feel like they're not welcome, and that there is this racism that's driving this. And we don't know what, at least those of us living over here, we're very vulnerable to propaganda coming out from all sides right now. There's lots of fake stuff coming out, fake videos, photos. So it's just hard to know about this. So could you talk a little bit about that? We just keep hearing neo-Nazis, there's racism, and that's aggravated the situation.
What was I'm sorry, I had a beep come through there. What was the last part of the question?
The last part of the question was just that, could you, I guess, to simplify the question was, could you talk a little bit about this idea that we keep hearing, that this conflict has been aggravated by neo-Nazis in Ukraine?
Yeah, that's
especially a part of the government.
That's totally ridiculous. I mean, he's got to have some kind of a reason for invading. I think he said the same thing when he went to Ossetia, which was part of Georgia, that he had to go in and rescue Russian citizens that were there, and invaded, sovereign territory in Georgia for that. I think it's just he has to conjure up some kind of a rationale for doing it, and this ridiculous Nazi thing and race thing is just ridiculous.
Because I think that's something that they're like.
On a говорит racism.
Расизм.
Там из-за этого причина. That was part of the reason for Putin invading, right? What you're saying?
Где Россия?
Yep.
Huh?
Где? У
Yeah,
России?
and-
В Украине. Из-за этого Путин ему нужно спасти его люди там.
Это ложь.
It's
Это
a lie.
ложь.
It's a lie.
Это большая ложь и манипуляция.
It's a big lie and manipulation.
Никакого расизма, никаких проблем с языком, русским или украинским не было.
Yeah, there wasn't any this racism and divide between Russian and Ukrainians that were living in Ukraine.
Все, что касается расизма, вот этого фашизма, проблемы языков, русский или украинский, это придумала политическая система России.
This was all invented. All of this stuff was invented by Russian politicians.
И это они придумали только для одной цели, как инструмент, чтобы хоть какую-то мысль представить, что вот это нас движет, чтобы воевать. Вот
Yeah,
мы
this was all made up, as a pretext or as a reason for them to invade.
Хотя такой фашизм, какой делает Россия и Путин, не делал даже Гитлер.
Yeah, but the fascist behavior that Putin is showing is some stuff that we didn't even see from Hitler.
То, что они творят, не делали даже немцы во время Второй мировой.
And you've probably just
То, что они расстреливают мирных жителей, которые выезжают на машинах, уехать с города.
These people that are being shot, that are going through the humanitarian corridors, the way they're shooting those people, this is the kind of thing that the Germans didn't even do in World War II.
Сегодня утром позвонила мне женщина из города Каховка
This morning, a woman from Kakhovka called me.
и говорит: молитесь, пожалуйста, за
And she
меня
said, pray for me
и за моих 3 детей.
and for my 3 children.
Я буду выезжать из города.
I'm going to leave the city.
Город окружен.
The city's surrounded.
Расстреливают все машины.
They're shooting all of the vehicles.
Их соседа расстреляли.
The neighbors were shot.
Но она говорит: я лучше умру в дороге, чем останусь здесь с русскими.
But it would be better for me to be shot on the road than to stay here and be shot.
Она ехала сегодня утром
She left this morning,
и выехала. Мы молились.
and we prayed for her. She left.
Они стреляли, но не попали.
They shot at the vehicle.
С Каховки. Да, да.
And but they
Они
were
стреляли по машине, но не попали в них.
they shot at the vehicle, but they were able to
То
get
есть,
out.
не ранили.
They weren't injured.
Вот.
Wow.
И она выехала, и она жива и радуется.
And
Через 2 дня она будет в Польше, может, через 3 дня.
within 2 or 3 days, she'll be here in Poland.
Да. И
Wow.
таких людей миллионы.
And there are millions of people like this.
У нас были люди с города Донецка, с Мариуполя.
There's some people from Mariupol that's been severely bombed and mostly destroyed.
Это десятки людей у нас были в церкви. Десятки людей.
10 человек.
Нет, несколько десятков.
There were
Может, 30, может,
30, 40
45.
people
Да.
from Mariupol.
И они показывали фотографии на своем телефоне, не где-то.
They showed us pictures they'd
Новости.
taken with their own phones that you haven't seen on the news anywhere.
И они показывали трупы людей, которые соседи были.
Hmm.
На телефоне. Мертвых людей показывали
Showed
на
us just
телефоне.
corpses that were in the street that were people had been shot,
И они благодарили Бога за то, что у них удалось выехать, спастись.
and they were grateful to God that they were able to escape.
И они чувство вины имели, чувство вины, что они остались живы, а их всех там убили других.
And they feel guilty that they were able to get out.
Это хуже фашизма.
Yeah, it's worse than fascism.
Yeah, and you're hearing those stories directly, so from the people who this is happening to. So it's not like you're just seeing it on the news. You're actually talking to people who have experienced this
That's right.
firsthand.
Yeah.
All right, one other quick question. Do the Christian men who are required to stay behind have options to help other than wielding a gun?
Yes, they do.
What would those options be?
serving in non-combat roles. It could be cooking food, helping in the medical tents, different things like that. Просто есть люди, которые не хотят, крестьянские люди, которые не хотят воевать.
Да.
Они могут служить другие варианты. Я сказал, да, можно.
Да.
Yeah, they can.
Да.
Okay.
We know some that are.
This person has 3, so which if you want to just answer one, that's fine. I know we're really running out of time. I really appreciate your sticking around. What kind of humanitarian help is it? Okay, we've talked about that. Are they able to help everyone they want? Do Russian troops allow organizations to help Ukrainians in the country? And does he believe to be in danger, or do Russian troops not attack people who do humanitarian aid?
I'm sorry, repeat the question one more time. Somebody just interrupted me.
Are you able to help everyone that you want to help, or do the Russian troops allow, I guess they're saying, do the Russian troops allow organizations to help Ukrainians in occupied areas, or not? So are you having issues getting to the people that you would like to help because of Russian occupation?
Well,
or
yeah, there's of course, they're not letting us help everybody we'd like to help. I mean, I posted a video on my Facebook page the other day of a van that was going into a city just east of Kiev to rescue people, to bring them out through a green corridor. And you can see the video of his van that is shot up. The driver was killed. One of the passengers was injured, and another one jumped out of the van. They're not sure what happened to him. But answer your question, no, we're not able to help everybody we'd want.
Okay.
The Russians are making it difficult. Absolutely.
Okay, so that, I guess that kind of answers the third question, which is, do you believe, maybe not necessarily yourselves, but those who are more embedded in Ukraine, are they in danger for helping, or are the Russians not attacking people who do humanitarian aid? You're basically saying, yes, they are attacking people who do humanitarian aid.
Yeah, I mean, I would call going into with a van to help evacuate people. That's a humanitarian act. I mean, they weren't armed or anything like that. They were just going in to help people, and they're shooting people that are trying to evacuate through the humanitarian corridors. Those people are being shot.